Hey folks, in this video, I am taking you inside of Strum Machine. If you are a new bluegrass picker, or even if you've been playing for your whole life, I recommend getting this app that I'm about to show you here today. I use it in every single one of my short form videos. I know that's how a lot of people find this channel. And so I'm going to unpack this all for you here today. I went to school at East Tennessee State University's Bluegrass and Old Time Country Music program, and had we had this while I was in school, it's been a while now, my playing, I'm sure, would be so much further ahead, okay? So to just let you know what it sounds like, I'm going to play a quick sample here to Blue Ridge Cabin Home. And again, this is a massive library of customizable backing tracks so you can get better at bluegrass no matter what instrument you're playing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I can slow this down. Okay, and that's just the first feature. So I'll say that in my guitar journey, I think where I progressed the most was about a decade ago when I purchased like a loop station or a loop pedal and started really practicing like lead guitar and learning my scales and things like that. And so that's really the first massive feature of Strum Machine here, is that it acts as a loop station. And the cool thing about it is you can obviously loop the entire song, but you can also loop certain sections of the song. And why this is important, here's an example. Like there's a fiddle tune here, the Big Scioto, and you can like highlight the first 4 measures and you can only play over that measure, which is great if you're just trying to focus in on like a handful of notes, maybe off of like a certain record you want to learn or a certain break. And then eventually you can get to the point where you've learned the entire fiddle tune. And that's how I encourage my students to learn. But let's get back to sort of the basics here. Okay, so I've got Blue Ridge Cabin Home. The first thing I want to point out is that this is also a very good educational tool. So we're in the key of G right here, but we can also change our chart display and we can have our number systems up here. And this is important, and I talk about this in my beginner bluegrass guitar course, Flatpick Foundations. It's important to understand the numbers in bluegrass music, or the National Number System. These are scale degrees of whatever key you're playing in, because this is how we communicate. For example, if you're around a bluegrass jam, you're not going to hear people say, hey, play a D chord or play a C chord. They're going to be shouting out numbers. So this is a terrific tool just to have like exposure to the National Number System. And so you can change it back and forth, which I'll do right here, but I really like that feature. But let me get into some of the fun stuff here, okay? So we can go up here and we can actually customize how the entire band sounds, okay? I'm gonna skip over the bass and mandolin for this video here, but I do want to show you how we can customize the guitar, all right? So right now I've got the boom chuck with upstrokes, but I can say, for example, if I want to throw in a strumming pattern that has some cross picking. Let me show you how this sounds. Okay, and then we can even go to like a syncopated boom chuck. And then like you can get really, really into it here, like a Celtic style strum. But it doesn't stop there. You can tweak the feel, so you can make the guitar sound more spacious or more busy feel with this nifty little dial here. And then you can also take away and add the amount of bass runs that the guitar plays. Okay, let's check out some of these presets. And before I play these, you're gonna notice that a lot of them have just very nuanced differences. That's really important in this style of music. First off, from a practicing standpoint, at least for me, when I add different instruments in and I change the feel and I put different presets here, as you'll see in a second, it'll change the style of music slightly, but that also forces me to be more creative. It forces me to get out of my comfort zone. I used to have a playlist on YouTube of like 20 to 30 bluegrass backing tracks, and that was basically it. And I would just play with those over and over again. And so this came along, and especially now that they've got all these different presets, it's been a game changer, because it's so important to play with different speeds, different styles, and the subtleties in bluegrass really matter, okay? Enough yapping. swingy. And just to highlight a bit of the educational additives here, which I'm all about, this is mainly an educational channel. It says here on the swingy bluegrass customization here, big strums, lots of upstroke swing, Jimmy Martin vibe. So Jimmy Martin was a famous bluegrass player, really was like a pioneer, pushed the envelope of what folks were doing in his time with bluegrass guitar. And so I love these little subtleties and these little nods to the genre that they throw in here, especially being like a bluegrass nerd myself. By the way, folks, if you are wanting a very easy, approachable way of learning bluegrass guitar, if you've always wanted to flat pick and make your guitar playing sound folky and really American-like, I do offer an 85 lesson and growing beginner-friendly bluegrass guitar course. I take you through all kinds of instrumentals. I take you through guitar breaks. I do a chapter on rhythm. I've got singing. I've got tablatures in here. And the cool thing about it is it's a lifetime access, like one-time purchase for lifetime access. And I'm adding to this over time. Here's what the inside of a lesson looks like. You got your on-screen tabs. We take it pretty slow. I don't expect you to be a master flat picker. You've got the tabs below here as well, little backing track sample, as well as some connected lessons here. All of this is structured in a way that it makes sense. You go at your own pace, and I'm not going to recharge you every month. So if you finally want to dust off that guitar and really lay a sturdy foundation for your bluegrass flat picking, check out the link in the description below. Let's check out the country presets. They've even got like a polka setting on here. So you can hear that on some of these, like I said, the differences are very nuanced, but I really think that's super important with this music, with any style of music, that you're challenging yourself with different styles of backing tracks, or different ways of approaching a lesson in general. But another great feature and just an added bonus is that most all popular songs in the bluegrass and even like old-timey country genre are already in here. You can make your own, and I can do a video on that later, like make your own song and set it up to where you've got parts repeating and things like that, like a whole like build your own song. But like I said, there's so many already put in here. And what I find cool about it is you're going to have different versions of like songs that have been popular over the years. Like, for example, the Big Scioto here has a version that's played where you go from like, I think it's this C minor to the E minor, and then some versions do the opposite, okay? So those are usually all easily found here, all ready to go, so you can practice whatever version that you need. I just think it's really cool. Let me find the example here. I think it's cool that there's also some just like default songs, like the Happy Birthday song, right? So I didn't know how to play this song. I never played it, I don't remember, on a guitar and sang it up until like 5 or 6 years ago. And I just think it's cool that you can just kind of go through here, and then not only do you have the backing track, it just shows you what chords to play. And so you can change the key of any of these, right? So if, let's say, for example, that you're having trouble singing in the key of G. Just change it here, play it in the key of C, and then that shows you the chords that's being played. You can then have that chart display pop up. And I think it's cool because this is the way that I learn, is through experimenting and like connecting these dots together. And I think that this app just does a great job of allowing you to sort of explore and put these concepts and things together. So what I mean by that is that, let's say like we're in the key of G here, you can click up here and then it'll show you how you can play this with like a capo, or what chords to play. So we'll go to capoed chords, and then let's say that we want to play it on capo 5. And there, if you play those chords, with the capo on the 5th fret, you're still in the key of G, and that also teaches you different ways that you can like approach playing in a band. Like I said, there's lots of educational elements here. I think of this as like a 1990s like DVD. Like there's Easter eggs in here you're always finding, and we're like, oh, that's really cool. And another feature here is like the share button up here. So me and the band will put our songs that we need to learn, like in our list. We'll make a list here, and then we'll share the set list, and then we can learn it at the same tempo. That way we sort of know what to expect at a live show, and the songs are already built in there, and they're bluegrass songs, so they don't really change. And so it's a great practice tool for not only yourself, but also for your band as well. Folks, if you'd like to learn more, just let me know in the description below, and I will see you on the next one and dive deeper into some more of these features. Take care.